Hi, everyone. It's Coach Tukwasa here again on another Thursday for our Thursday lunchtime power talk on safe space conversations. On safe space conversations today, we're talking all about mentorship. We're talking about the benefits of mentorship. We're talking about the characteristics of the people that mentor us. What type of characteristics should they have? We're going to be talking about how to select that mentor, how to show appreciation to your mentor, and what the mentoring model looks like. Now, if you're meeting me for the very first time, I'd just like to share with you that mentorship has actually been one of the um, redefining aspects of my life. Actually, if you know a little bit of my story, you would know that just over 17 or 18 years ago, I sat down on my bathroom floor, really ready to tap out on life with my bottle of tablets and my gallon of juice because life at that particular point in time had become so difficult, so routine, so painful. There was so much trauma from my childhood through about age 26 trapped inside of me that I thought that life was better off without me. Well, here's the thing, I'm living testimony that we can transform our lives. However, that transformation didn't occur in my life until I put the work in along with the help of a mentor. And after coaching women for well over 20 years, I can also tell you with 100% guarantee that when we have the right mentor or coach in our lives, we can set about creating the path that we want for our lives. And as long as we put the work in to heal, to create, to be resilient, to be disciplined, to use the lessons of our past to help create the future, we can definitely live the lives that we dream of. Every single woman that I am aligned with will testify, and not that I've necessarily coached them, but they will testify that it was as a result of mentorship that they were able to transform their lives and to live the brilliant lives that they're living today. I want to share with you today, and I have some resources that I may refer to. So if you see me look down or look around, I'm just referring to my notes and my resources. In my very first book, Chase Your Dreams, I wrote this maybe about 6 years ago. There is a chapter in this book that speaks specifically to choosing a mentor. Now, here are some important people that we look at in the world and say that they are so super successful, but their success is also attached to the fact that they had mentors in their life. Hey, Miss Billy, so nice to see you here today. I'm happy that you're here. Hey, Dr. Michelle, so nice to have you here. Juette, how are you? Thank you for tuning in. And in this book, I talk about the fact that there are people who we look at as super successful in the world, and these people actually had mentors to guide them. The first person that I make reference to is Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was mentored by her school teacher. We have Oprah Winfrey, who was then mentored by Maya Angelou. We have Bill Gates, who was mentored by Warren Buffett. We have Richard Branson, who was mentored by Sir Freddie Lake. And we have Mark Zuckerberg, who was mentored by Steve Jobs. Now, just looking at this list of people who use mentorship to elevate their lives should immediately tell us that success not only leaves clues, but when we attach ourselves to people who have done what we want to do and we're willing to sit at their feet and learn, we can elevate ourselves in our lives so much more efficiently and effectively with less errors because we're gaining from the experience of other people. Now, what does the mentorship model look like? Because in truth, what people call mentorship oftentimes is someone telling us what to do. And if you're anything like me with a little bit of a rebellious spirit and a resistance to being told what to do, you're not really going to benefit from a relationship with someone who is dictating your life. That is definitely not what a mentor is supposed to do. The mentor or the coaching relationship is a relationship where a mentor, through the act of discovery, which means that they're taking time to get to know you, your dreams, your values. They're getting to know you as an individual. They're getting to know what you want to achieve for your future. So they're actually investing their time in getting to know all about who you are, first of all, to determine if they are in alignment with you in order to help you with the direction of your life. So that coaching model should look something like the mentor saying, hey, here's a question I'd like for you to answer. Because mentoring and coaching is all about asking questions. That's discovery. We discover about other people by asking questions. And then the mentee says, well, this is what I heard you say. This is what I heard you ask of me. Because now the mentee wants to be clear that they have understood the question or intent of the mentor. And then the mentee will say, as a result of what I heard you say, or the advice that you gave me, here is what I intend to do. And then the coach or the mentor comes back in to ask more questions. Coaches and mentors aren't responsible for telling us what to do with our lives. Coaches and mentors are responsible for guiding us to where we want to go. It's not about dictating because they see that we're great at a particular thing, telling us what to do. It's more about getting the result that you actually want for your life. So when you're looking at getting a mentor, please understand that the responsibility isn't solely the mentor's responsibility to direct your life. As a matter of fact, as the mentee, you come into this relationship to give it its direction. It is because of what you want that the mentor has been engaged. And the reason you've engaged that mentor is to be sure that what you want to achieve is one, achievable, and two, that their experience and advice can help to guide you. And so I see Dr. Michelle is saying absolutely, mentorship creates opportunities to transform. And speaking about that word transform, that 20 years, about 20, under 20 years ago, I'd say 16 to 17 years ago, when I was in crisis, 2 days later, my mentor showed up. Now I want you to hear what I say very clearly, or hear what I said very clearly. My mentor showed up into my life. I always saw this person. I'd worked with this person. We'd interacted on a number of occasions, but I'd never in my mind thought of asking for help. Even at the lowest points of my life, I still had the attitude that one, I could do it on my own, that two, I didn't need anybody to help me, and that three, I was about to prove to everyone that spoke a negative word over my life that what they said wasn't true. But here's the reality of the situation, and you all know I have transparent conversations regardless of the platforms that I'm on. So whether that's YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, I'm extremely transparent. But here's the thing, over the course of the 26 years of my life, I was like a hamster on a wheel, making the same decisions over and over and over and over again, and getting the same results over and over and over again. And I want you to type in chat what that is. Somebody who makes the same decisions over and over and over again, but expect a different result. And as far as I know, that's insanity. And that's many of us. Many of us are stuck in a rut. Many of us are stuck in routine living. We know we want something different. We don't know how to get the different thing that we want, but we also don't want to ask for help because our pride and ego has us tied and shackled to one, pride, and two, ego. And so because we're shackled, we're not open to asking for help or receiving help. And I'm going to tell you that at 26, that's where I was. Because of trauma, because of childhood issues, because of having to find my way for so many years, I thought I knew it all and I could do it all. And that's what we do. You have to know that your experiences, as they begin to repeat themselves, that you're going a little bit insane by doing the same thing over and over and over again. And you have to want to break the cycle enough to recognize that you need help. And so 2 days later, this gentleman showed up and he was like, as at a business executive in the corporate world, because I was working at the time. And this gentleman showed up and he said, I've been watching you. Now, I'll tell you that on the night that I was about to take my life, through miraculous intervention by the God that we serve, I decided courageously to live. I don't know how I was going. At that point, I didn't know how I was going to make a difference in my life or my children's lives, but I knew that I wanted a different life and that my children deserved a mother who was healed and they deserved to have a good life. And what I had already demonstrated to myself at the age of 26 was that I didn't know how to give that to them. And so, with a desire to break generational curses and to break cycles that had been running through our family line, I made the decision that I would not take my life, but I would find another way. That one decision to want to find help and to do things a different way attracted this mentor into my life. Now, here's the thing, when this business executive approached me on my job 2 days later, and he said, hey, I've been watching you. You have a spirit of excellence, the way that you do your work. It's like, I just want to mentor you because I see that you can have a bright future. Now, ladies, I'm going to tell you again in transparency that when this business executive approached me with the proposal, my first thought was, this man talking about he wants to mentor me. Right now, he just wants to enter me. Because up to that point, men looked at the external. They looked at the Coca-Cola shape. That was years ago. Your girl had a little Coca-Cola shape. They look at the hair which could blow. They look at the caramel colored skin. They were attracted to the external beauty. And that is what they wanted to enjoy. And so, because I'd had the trauma of dealing with men that only wanted my body and could not appreciate or value my intelligence, my intellect, my brilliance, or that were willing to push me forward in life, I almost told that gentleman no. Trauma had me at the brink of saying, this is just another dude who's trying to take advantage of me. But something in my spirit said, girl, you are already at rock bottom. What could one more yes do? And I said yes. Can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, today, that one yes that happened years ago, over 20 years ago, was one of the greatest redefining moments and transformational moments of my life. Because when I said yes, this business executive took the time every week to meet with me, to discover me, to help me discover myself. And then once I discovered who I was, because believe it or not, even at the age of 26, I didn't know who I was. And many of you today still don't know who you are. And that's okay. The great news is we're never too late to begin to discover who we are and how we can transform our lives. And so, if you want a mentor, Dr. Michelle, if you're not busy, Stephanie, if you're not busy, type these points in chat for me, please. I want to share with you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that you need to be if you want a mentor. These are things that you need to possess. The first thing you need is a teachable spirit. What does it mean to be teachable? It means that you're humble. It means that you're open to accepting advice. It means that you're open to listening to the experience of others. It means that you can process the information that other people have given to you so that you can pull out the life lessons and nuggets and use them. A teachable spirit is someone who is open to receive. Their ego is almost non existent because they are sitting in a place of humility. So, the very first thing you need if you want a mentor is to have a teachable spirit. The second thing that you need is to come prepared. Please don't waste your mentor's time. by saying you want to be mentored, but you show up to the meeting waiting for your mentor to direct the conversation. That is not how mentorship works. Contrary to what we believe, mentorship is not the mentor telling us what to do with our lives. Mentorship is about knowing that we want to do a particular thing and go through the process of discovery of what that thing is, and then asking the mentor for direction. So be prepared. Show up with your notebook, your pen, with your questions. The third thing that you need to do is to ask questions. Your mentor is a vault of information, and the vault is open. So your mentor is sitting in your meeting waiting for you to ask the relevant questions. Let me just ask you, how your mentor is supposed to know what you want if you don't show up and say, hey, I need some advice on A, B, C, and D? They don't read minds. So as a mentee, it is your responsibility to show up with your questions. These are the things that I would like to discuss in our session. Now, a couple of years ago, there was this young lady that reached out to me from one of the Caribbean islands and asked for mentorship. At that particular point in my life, I did have time that I could devote for mentorship. And so I accepted her request to mentor her. She got very frustrated with me through the mentorship cycle and relationship because her expectation was that I would tell her what to do with her life. As a mentor, my role is to ask you questions. My role as a mentor is to extract from you what you want to do. So please don't put the responsibility on me to guide the conversation. I am involved in the conversation, but as the mentee, you control the direction of the conversation. The fourth thing that you must do if you want to have a mentor is to demonstrate that you are learning from them. I mean, how do you do that? It's pretty simple. If you sit in a conversation with your mentor and you've asked questions and they've given you information, the best way to demonstrate that you're using that information is to take action on the parts of the advice that resonate most with you. Now, because someone is giving you advice doesn't mean that you have to do everything that they say, but you pull away the points from the conversation that resonate most with you and take action on it. Because let's continue to be real, every mentor wants to see you take action. Otherwise, they feel like you're wasting their time. Why sit down and have conversations and share advice if we aren't going to do anything with that advice? The fifth and final thing that you have to do or be as a mentee is accountable. This means that you have to be open for correction because your mentor, as they ask questions, should be able to correct your thought processes, your mindset, and also help you to understand when the trauma of your past is getting in the way of you executing your future. And so you must be willing to be held accountable. So if you set timelines, if you agree to action points, then your mentor is responsible to come in the following meeting to ask for information. So tell me, how did you execute what you committed to last week? So tell me, how did you use your time? How much of your time did you devote to reading? How much of your time did you devote to discovery? How much of your time did you use to watch TV? Your mentor is responsible for holding you accountable. So, those five things: have a teachable spirit, always be prepared, ask questions, demonstrate that you have taken action on the learning, and be accountable are necessary for every single mentee to have a successful relationship with their mentor. And so, how do you now select a mentor? That there is the biggest question. The first thing I want to tell you about selecting a mentor is to select someone who has a strong idea of who they are. Because the foundation that we are built upon, that foundation is the thing that guides us, our values, our characteristics. So you want to know who you are actually getting advice from. And so your mentor has to have a strong sense of who they are and what they are about. Your mentor has to be selfless and understand that the direction that they are giving you is not to make them feel big, is not for you to kiss up to them, is not about them. The mentorship is about the mentee, even though the mentor will benefit. So you want to make sure that when you select your mentor, you're not selecting someone who needs you to kiss their butt. I just being real with you today. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything and use any pretty words. You want to make sure that this is not someone who wants you to kiss their butt in response or in return for mentoring you. The other thing is the mentor has to respect the direction you want to take your life in. So this is also applicable for us in leadership when we are responsible for guiding teams. When we are responsible for guiding teams, as leaders, our responsibility is to get to know our team members and discover what they truly want to do with their lives. Because some people are in meantime situations. And so, as a leader, as an organization that's investing in your employees, and you're spending $5,000 on training an employee who has no interest in the area that you're training them in, is an absolute waste of money. So, get to know your employees, get to know their true desires, because some of them may desire to have a career that's outside of your organization, and understand that that's okay. Your role now is to help them get what they want so that you could get what you need in your organization. I mean, that's just a no-brainer. Help them get what they want. And when you show that you're interested in what they want for their lives, they will give you what you need in your organization because they feel seen, they feel valued, they feel heard. Allow them to develop in the area of their strengths and help them to go where they need to go so that you can now find the players that you need on your team to help your organization go where your organization needs to go. So, if you want to have a mentor, here are the things that I would encourage you to look for. Okay. You want to look for credible people. Listen to me. Alignment is so important. So, as you look for a mentor, look for someone that has a strong, good reputation because who we associate with, is who we are also judged by. So you want to make sure that your mentor is credible and respected because just being in alignment with a credible, respected person can open doors for you without you even knowing that it is as a result of being connected to someone. And the opposite is also true. It can actually close doors. So you want to know that you are with someone who is credible and who is respected. The second thing you want to do is find someone that has the time to invest in you. I'm at a place in my life now where I'm unable to give mentorship. And some people may say, oh, that's very selfish of you. But I think that it's responsible of me because the load that I carry right now doesn't give me time to properly invest in someone who's asking for mentorship. And tell me how frustrating will it be to a mentee for them to want time with the mentor and they're postponed over and over and over again. It makes the mentee feel like they're not valued. It makes the mentee feel as if something's wrong with them and the mentor doesn't want to spend time with them. So, to avoid these feelings of unworthiness and not being desired and all of that sort of stuff that come up, because we're humans, I cannot accept a mentee. But there are times in my life when my calendar is not as heavy as it is, and I can mentor people and block time on my calendar once a week or once every 2 weeks to sit with them with these conversations, to be their accountability partner, to ask the questions that guide them to their goals, to be their cheerleader, to help them get up when they fall down. And so you want to find someone that has the time to invest. And I use the word invest very intentionally Because when a mentor isn't charging you to teach you, that is an investment of their time. So you want to make sure that you find someone that has the time to invest in you. Thirdly, you want to find someone that's going to be honest with you. Now, this one here, this could bite because you don't want anyone that's just going to give you fluff and say, yeah, that's a good idea. Or because they are not comfortable with conflict, because they don't know how to handle conflict, they don't give you or don't correct you. You're not going to grow without correction. So you want to make sure that you have someone that will be honest with you. Not only honest with you from your perspective, but from their perspective. Because so many of us hide things that we failed at. We don't want other people to know that we failed. But a mentor should be willing to be honest and say, well, when I executed A, B, and C, I wasn't really successful on those attempts. I fell down, I got egg on my face. Those valuable experiences help the mentee because they let them know what not to do. So you want to find someone who's going to be honest with you about their failures and their success. Fourthly, and this is so super important because I have a whole story that I don't have time to talk about right now. You want to find someone who's not threatened by your dreams. Again, let's just be real. Those of us who are younger, when we are getting the experience of those who are older, they recognize that their time is coming to an end. They may have 20 or 15 good years ahead of them because me, I'm 50. I have less years ahead of me than I do behind me. And so when you find a mentor who is in this position of seeing your talent, seeing your passion, seeing your strength, and thinking that you can outshine them and they are uncomfortable with you because of that, you don't want to sign on to be that person's mentor. Your mentor should be willing to push you beyond where they've gone. That's how we continue to evolve as a community, in business, as a world. Those behind us should be more creative, should be more innovative, should be able to go further than we have gone using our lessons. So you want to make sure that your mentor isn't stifling your dreams. That business executive that helped me to transform my life said to me after one of our discovery sessions, because when we first started, I had no idea of who I was. I couldn't state at the foundation of myself who I was. And once we established what that foundation was, that mentor said to me, Donnie, because that's really what people close to me say, one day your name is going to be in the stars. I can see the potential that exists inside of you. And if you cultivate that, and I'm going to help push you to achieve that, that mentor is still helping to push me beyond comfort levels today, even though we're not in that same mentorship relationship. So it's super important that you find someone who is not threatened by your dreams and someone that's going to call you out when you are dreaming too small. Because out, listen to me, there's a limitless world. And we put limits on ourselves because we either believe that we're not connected enough, or we don't have the resources, or we start to downplay. We don't know what to do. Listen, the dream that's inside of you, that's been planted inside of you by the master, that dream is there for you and it's been given by you by the person who knows that you have what it takes to bring that dream to reality. Don't put limits on God because He is a limitless God. And if you would connect to the source and ask for guidance and be directed to the right people, there's literally nothing that's impossible. The next thing is you want a mentor who is continuing to grow themselves. Stale water becomes stagnant. You don't want to learn from someone that's sitting still because they're stagnant, and stagnant water gets stink. You want to make sure that the person that's mentoring you is growing, that they're reading material, that they're watching YouTube educational TED Talks and learning. They may be taking certification classes. They're doing things that help them stay stimulated. You want to make sure that your mentor is still growing. You want to make sure that your mentor is not giving you the answers, because the answers have to come from within you. You will execute on something that you think about and believe more than you will execute on something somebody else told you. You're going to question that. I wonder if you could do that, and start to find all of the excuses. But if you start to think and process the things that you need to do because your mentor is guiding you, and you break it down micro enough, you can now take steps on it because you believe that what you wrote, that what you process is possible. The final thing that you want to do beyond your comfort zone. Whenever you get comfortable, that is an indication that it's time to do something else. We should always be stretching. We should always be moving beyond our comfort zone. All of the magic happens just outside of the comfort zone, where we sit in our growth zones. As I wrap up our live today, I want to encourage you to seek a mentor with those qualities, and to understand that with mentorship, or even by utilizing the services of a reputable coach, you can get further in your life than trying it alone. As a matter of fact, if you're looking at your life and you can clearly identify that you are on a hamster wheel doing the same thing over and over and over and getting no results, or the same results, recognize the insanity in that and find a different way to take action. Now, I want to give you these quick steps to show your mentor appreciation. 1, respect their time. 2, be teachable. 3, be willing to listen. 4, honor your commitments. 5, make sure that you show proof that you've executed. And 6, be consistent. I shared earlier that Maya Angelou was mentored. Oprah Winfrey was mentored. Bill Gates was mentored. Richard Branson was mentored. Mark Zuckerberg was mentored. And those successful people should be evidence that mentorship makes a difference. So if you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer them for you in the comments. Dr. Michelle, I see you saying that we must be receptive to mentorship for the process to have an effective outcome. Stephanie, I see you there, but Lord of mercy, and that this is a real conversation. Irene, thank you for joining the conversation today. Stephanie, I see you here saying that this is a clear point to Gwesa. Oh boy, Stephanie, I see that. Ouch. Oh, Stephanie, you're learning today because you say this is it. Thanks for watching from New York City, Stephanie. And Dr. Michelle, thank you for recording those questions. If you want a mentor, look in the comments at what Dr. Michelle has captured from this conversation today. I want to thank Danny for being here. She is saying that this is some powerful stuff. Stephanie is sending some love. Jackie is saying that I'm awesome on this great information for mentors. And I see Dr. Michelle is saying that she agrees this is an excellent session, and it's great for those seeking mentorship and even those who are seeking to be a mentor. Dr. Michelle is saying that whether you supervise a group of people or not, we all have something that we can share with someone else. Mentorship allows you to engage with credible people who have integrity and a good reputation. As a mentor, you have the opportunity to open doors by connection, and sadly can close doors. Be mindful when you offer yourself as a mentor. Um, you will need to be willing and able to invest. If you do not have the time, be transparent and say so they do not feel not desired and rejected. If you do not have the time, be transparent and say so. If you have the time, then that's when you should go into mentorship. Thank you so much for summing that up, Dr. Michelle. And should we need to ask for their list of successes? And that's a great question, Rain. I would encourage you to research your mentor first. We have this beautiful thing called the internet. We have people that we're connected to who know other people. Just do some fact finding on your own first. And then when you reach out to that mentor, just talk to them about what they've done in their lives how they've overcome certain things, because you go with the questions first and then you determine based on how they told you they got over their challenges or their road bumps, then you can make a determination on whether that person is a good fit for you. But first and foremost, look at character, because it is John C. Maxwell who lets us know that our character flaws are actually the things that prevent us from moving ahead in life. So you want to look at the character of the person that you are aligning yourself with. Stephanie, yes, I will drop the link to my Unstuck bundle here in because as always, I offer the ultimate Unstuck bundle because it is my most affordable program at $27, 3 days worth of videos, also PDFs and worksheets that can help you begin to become unstuck. And I will also put the link to my first book, which is Chase Your Dreams, which is where I use material from today to actually teach this lesson. And Jewett, I see Dr. Michelle is saying that she's glad to see you here. Guys, I want to respect your lunchtime. We are 6 hours over our 30-minute dedicated time for this. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for participating, for engaging. And I look forward to seeing you next week, Thursday, for another lunchtime power 30 minutes as we talk about things that help us to grow, develop, and achieve our dreams. Remember, this is a limitless world, and I am here to support you. I love you, and I look forward to you becoming the best person that you can be. Take care, guys, and God bless you all. Bye bye.